Welcome to this episode of Beyond the Known World, episode 5. 3 stories of ghosts in Sussex. Just 1 second. Right, here we go.
This delightful red brick queen and building was home to American-born writer Henry James from 1898 until his death in 1916. He claimed that he was frequently disturbed by poltergeist activity, and that he was often visited by the ghost of an old lady wearing a mantilla who helped him with his writing. Although no one else ever saw this woman, an amateur photographer who had visited the building sometime later was surprised by the appearance of this spectral lady on one of the pictures he had taken. Following James' death, the author E.F. Benson became the tenant of the house, and he too was troubled by poltergeist activity. Sometime later, Rumor God, author of Black Narcissus, moved into the property. When the poltergeist activity started afresh, she called in a priest and had him bless everything, including the fridge.
Well, there you go. That's just 1 second. That's story 1. Just 1 second, and we'll get to story 2. Ghosts in Sussex. 1 second. Right, here is story 2 and episode 5 of Beyond the Known World. Ghosts in Sussex. This is a short one, but it's a good one. 1 second, they're all good. 1 second.
Roadside ghosts. The A24 at Buck Barn near Billingshurst has a ghostly tramp who walks in front of traffic. And the A23 London to Brighton Road has many ghost stories associated with it. The most interesting of these stories concerns the alarmed young woman who hitches a ride from the living only to disappear once she is inside your car. At the A21 near Pycombe, several motorists have believed they have struck a ghostly woman wearing a raincoat who crossed the road in front of them.
Well, hey, what a story there. Here on my channel, James Higgins Open World. On this episode of Beyond the Known World, episode 5, Ghosts in Sussex in the UK. So let's get to the last story now. Just 1 second and we'll get to the last story. 1 second. Right, this is the last story on episode 5 of Beyond the Known World. It's the Mermaid in Rye in Sussex. So let's get to it. The Grade 2 listed building in the medieval citadel of Rye is teeming with ghost stories and legends. It's one of the most haunted inns in the UK. In fact, there are ghostly tales linked to nearly every room. The most famous being that of Hawkhurst gang, local smugglers who used it in the 18th century. The gang, their wives and mistresses are said to have haunt the building to this day. Just 1 second. It's said the ghost of a maid and mistress of one of the smugglers who was killed by the other gang members for knowing too much haunts the inn. The wife of another was said to sit in the rocking chair. Guests would wake up in the night to see the chair moving on its own and the room icy cold. The chair has since been removed. Wow, 1 second. There are also tales of a lady in white sitting in a chair by the fire, the ghost of a man walking through a bathroom wall into the main room, a man sitting on the end of the bed. There's also a story of a duel within the inn, the men fighting until one was killed and thrown in a dungeon. His spirit still haunts the building. Spooky to say the least. The inn is hundreds of years old and retains many historic features. The cellars date back to the 11th century, while the building was rebuilt in the 15th century. In fact, there are said to be secret tunnels from the cellars to the Old Bell Inn on a neighbouring street. Well, hey, what a story for the last story on this episode of James Higgins Beyond the Known World. Episode 5. Hey, what have you? So in 2 weeks' time, episode 6 will be there. So keep keep watching my channel, James Higgins Open World, the channel of the future, right here, right now. So get in there.